Spill. The wood was proving unbearably strong. I swung the axe, this time driving through into half a squat for power, and the bark finally yielded. Damn, I said, wiping sweat from my eyes. I gave an angry cry of frustration at the longevity of this woodcutting day, but I didn't want to go inside. Actually, I didn't want to be thinking. I quickly grabbed another log. Stop thinking. I swung at the log hard. It broke instantly. I threw the logs in the wagon with the others. I wish you were here, a voice snuck in. Shut up, I whispered, and hit another. The axe got stuck in the bark. I yanked it, but it remained firmly lodged. I wiped my face again and heaved another great sigh. She's still dead. Shut up, I whispered again, shaking my head and blinking out the sweat as it poured into my eyes. I put my foot down on the log to hold it still as I pulled on the axe handle. Dead, dead, dead. Shut up, I screamed this time and yanked the axe out. I raised the axe over my shoulder and hit the wood with full force. It splintered, but broke in half. I cried out in frustration at that stupid voice. Stop it. I threw the remaining logs in the wagon as I ran out of wood to chop. I heard laughing in the distance as I grabbed the wagon handle to go sell the wood. I saw some gang boys coming over the grassy hills. I cursed. Just leave me alone. Woohoo, a boy in the front drawled as he swaggered towards me. His face was all tattooed, his pants sagging, chains around his neck. Someone's pissed. Who got you all riled up, cowboy? Go away, I spat, and started wheeling the wagon over the hill towards the farmer's market. It'd be a long walk if these boys were following me. The boy in the front sang a ring of profanities. You should watch the way you talk to me, white boy. They followed me as I pulled the wagon, snarling and chanting profanities at me. I kept walking, trying very hard to ignore them. Where's your girl at, boy? Why isn't she coming with you? Shut up. Where's she at? Is she? Oh, that's right, said the boy sarcastically as he laughed haughtily. I stopped walking and turned towards him, anger creeping up and blurring my senses. He had one warning. One. Stop talking, I whispered dangerously. Dead? He said, smiling. Dead? I dropped the wagon handle and sped towards the front boy. I pushed him and he cackled maniacally. I cursed and yelled at him, and then I turned back to my wagon, but the boys had dumped it and spilled all the wood. What you so angry about, white boy? The leader said. What you so angry about? You, I bellowed, walking up to him real close. You make me real angry, I said quietly and dangerously. And then I reared back and punched him in his stupid smiling face. The boy stumbled back, and when he looked up, wiping the blood off his face, he was laughing, all giddy. Woohoo, he drawled again, and now I was jumping up and down and cracking my neck, the adrenaline coursing through me, all the anger at the surface. My fists were clenched tight, my eyes locked in on him. The boys gathered around in a circle as me and the leader faced off. What you gonna do, white boy? He taunted. What you gonna do? I waited for him to throw the first punch, and then I dodged to the side and swung. I was so awake now. I was so awake. Bring it. I was gaining on him, and the other boys didn't like it, so they jumped in. It was all me against them now, and I was so angry. I was so freaking angry. I was swinging and dodging and blocking, and they were kicking, and my head was hurting, but whatever. I was getting kicked in the ribs and hammered on the head, but the adrenaline. Finally, they left me on the floor. It took them 10 minutes. I was bleeding and bruised from head to toe. They backed up huffing as I started to stand wobbling. Yeah, go, I cried, spitting blood from my mouth. Damn cowards. I grabbed my ribs in pain as I yelled at them. I screamed again in fury and bent down to pick up the wood. I threw it in the wagon, furious out of my mind. I grabbed the wagon handle, limping home. I dropped the wagon off and limped through the house, towards the shower, wincing as I went. I grabbed another plaid tank top on the way in and some better jeans. I said as I staggered over the bathroom sore. I washed off the fight, my heart still racing and fuming. But as I stepped out of the shower and pulled on my clothes, the adrenaline died suddenly, and I was left looking at myself. Dirty blonde hair, green eyes, tan skin, bruised, a black eye. I put some tape from my bathroom cabinet over my eyebrow where a deep cut had formed. I felt a sharp sting in my tear ducts. Damn, I gasped, and I looked away. I sprayed some water in my eyes. Is this what she would have wanted? Is this what she would have wanted? I heaved a great painful breath and tried not to cry. I stepped back from the sink and looked down at the floor, wiping my face and sucking in deep breaths of air. Don't cry, I said weakly, punching myself in the face. Don't cry. I looked up again at my reflection, and I stumbled back as I saw her in the glass. I saw her in the glass. Green eyes just like mine, brown curly hair. I looked up at the ceiling. Tears pouring out of my eyes, the darkness sinking in on me like a wild ocean, overtaking my thoughts and drowning me. My sister, my best friend, my life. I was zapped back to the moment where I kneeled by her bed, holding her hand and trying not to lose all composure. I felt a sharp sting in my tear ducts. I quickly came back to reality and tried shaking the weakness out of me. I splashed some more water on my face. Dried it off. I stormed out of the room. I grabbed the denim jacket my sister Hannah had given me when I was 16. I walked to the refrigerator and poured some whiskey. Everywhere I walked, I saw pictures of her. Me and her as kids, twins against the world. We always were. Grew up in a foster home, ran away when they tried to separate us. Battled the world together. We lived off the land together, hunting and drinking from the mountain creeks of Tennessee. We got jobs working on a farm for an old man. He took us in, let us stay in the barn. We were wild kids, chasing donkeys, riding horses, scraping knees, falling off tractors. Called him Great Uncle Jack. He was like our uncle, not really a dad, but kind of. When he died, me and Hannah laid him down by the creek like he asked. He didn't have any family, so he gave us a house. We've lived in it ever since, chopping wood to pay the rent, farming the strawberries in the cornfields, raising the chickens, goats, donkeys, and horses. It was just me and her against the world. Except now it's just me. Some of the most recent pictures showed her when she was sick, her skin just pale and dying. She still had a gorgeous smile, even if it looked a little weary. She spent so much time trying to afford chemo, but never made it. She died before we made enough. I didn't know it was that bad. I was told anything and everything. She just spiraled downward out of nowhere. I thought she had so much more time, but I didn't know it wasn't just in her breast. It was in her head, in her lungs. And she was gone like a flash, like footprints in the sand washed away by the indifferent waves. It's been 3 months, and I'm still on the edge of a cliff that is gradually breaking away, my toes dangling over the edge while the rocks beckon beneath me, wanting me to jump before the whole earth falls, takes me with it. I took a sip of the whiskey. I was too young to drink, but who cares? The market surely doesn't. I drank as I looked around the pictures, my mind slowly fogging. Hannah smiled down at me, a cross around her neck. Before she died, she had told me she had found something different. She had found something she loved more than anything else. A woman had come to her with a Bible and talked to her about Jesus. That's what she said. Yeah, look where that's got you, I scoffed, my eyes tearing up again. Dead. And my voice went from a yell to a muffled whisper, my voice catching. Heaved a great painful sigh, my ribs still hurt considerably, and tried to sip some more. But the bottles were empty. I'd only had a little bit left. I threw the bottle in the trash and made my way out of the house. I grabbed my wheelbarrow from where I'd left it. I started pulling it towards the market. Bruised and all, no one cared. It's Tennessee and America is dead. We're all walking bruised. Broken. I took the long road by plains and plains of cornfields and wheat. There were also hills of cows wandering about. Me and my sister used to moo at them and laugh if they looked. Stupid cows, we used to say. We're humans. I made it to the town and dragged my wheelbarrow toward the farmer's market. I passed old buildings that read, "White people should be our slaves. Divided we shall fall, and I hate you, monkey." There were so many bars on the way that read, "Blacks only," or "Whites only." Tennessee had been caught up in a race war, black versus white, even though they weren't the only colors. We should have known by now that we were all humans. Hannah hated the race wars. The thing that sucked too is when the people wanted to be different, when they wanted to love each other. The extremists on both sides would call them traitors of their kind, be excommunicated, ostracized. But I just kept my head down, or I tried to. I made it to the farmer's market where people were all sprinkled around, chickens clucking and donkeys snorting. It's like a big barn. I entered through the gate. I headed over to where all the white people sold food. If I tried to go to the other side, I might start a riot. I kept my head down. I took my wagon to one of the buyers. "Hey, Bill," the old man said. "Hey, Jerry," I replied. I got a wagon of chopped wood. The old man grunted, and I dragged the wood out behind him. I loaded the logs up onto his cart. He gave me some silver coins. I pocketed them. "Thanks." I walked out of the farmer's market, heading to one of the old bars to get a drink. I walked to the bar, I sang softly as people around me clattered about. Some were fighting. A black man walked into a white man behind me. I heard them yelling at each other. It's funny because black and white doesn't really exist. All just different shades. It's not just white people, it's Irish, Greek, Scottish. There's more than just African Americans. There's Mexicans and Cubans and Indians and Chinese, black, white, purple, gray, and blue. I don't care. They're human. I met a man, I continued softly, a strange man. He asked me to play him a song, but I said we wouldn't get along. So we went up to the stage and we started a riot. Yeah, we started a riot. There was now a fist fight behind me. I heard yelling and screaming as I dragged my wagon back towards my house. It used to be a different way, no matter what they say. We used to all play for one another, for one another.